There's something almost surreal about watching an influencer who built an entire career on chaos suddenly face a moment he can't laugh off, can't spin into content, and can't talk his way out of. For Jack Doherty, that moment came in the early hours of a Miami night that was supposed to be harmless fun. A night of bets, filming, and pure adrenaline. But what unfolded turned into one of the most embarrassing, controversial, and career-shaking incidents of his life. And the crazy thing is, once you trace the full timeline, once you see the patterns, once you understand how Jack operates, the Miami arrest starts looking less like a random mistake and more like the inevitable result of a lifestyle spiraling under its own momentum. Because this wasn't just a case of a YouTuber getting into trouble. This was a turning point, the kind where a young creator finally collides headfirst with the real world. To understand why this arrest became such a massive moment, you have to understand Jack Doherty himself. He's not just another Gen Z creator with pranks and clickbait. He's part of a new breed of influencers who grew up believing that the internet is the real world, that nothing is too far if it gets views, and that the line between content and consequence doesn't really exist. From the moment he blew up on YouTube, the formula was simple: be bold, be fearless, and never, ever slow down. Stunts, pranks, challenges, wild live streams. He built an entire brand on unpredictability. And over the years, he pushed that brand further and further, always chasing the next viral moment. But fame built on chaos has a dark side, and Miami exposed it completely. The night starts around 3 a.m. in Miami Beach's entertainment district, a place that feels like it never goes to sleep. Neon lights, loud music spilling out of clubs, drunk tourists stumbling through the streets, and influencers trying to capture everything for content. Jack was right in the middle of it, filming with his crew, hyped up, energized, and apparently locked into some sort of bet or challenge. Witnesses described him walking into the road, weaving through traffic, and acting like the entire street was his personal film set. And for a moment, it probably felt like just another crazy Jack Doherty night. Until the police arrived. The blue lights hit first. Then the tone of the night flipped instantly. Officers pulled up, stepped out, and demanded that he and his group get onto the sidewalk. A simple instruction. Basic safety. But this is Jack, a guy who's built his personality around being borderline ungovernable. Instead of backing away, instead of cooling off, instead of doing the smart thing, he tells the police, "Once I'm done with this bet," almost as if he believed the world would pause for his content. And that's the first moment where the influencer bubble cracks. Because the real world doesn't care about your follower count. It doesn't pause for your TikTok. And the Miami police definitely weren't playing director for his late night challenge. When officers decided to detain him, he tried the move that's gotten him out of trouble countless times online: humor. Body cam footage later showed him smirking, joking, saying, "Oh, we're right. We'd duel," leaning into the chaotic persona his fans love. But the officers didn't flinch. The cuffs went on. The live stream energy disappeared. And suddenly Jack wasn't the star of his own video. He was the subject of someone else's report. But it gets deeper, because what they found during the search instantly turned this from a public disturbance to something much more serious. A half-orange pill stamped with a 3, consistent with a schedule to amphetamine. A small container holding a few hand-rolled joints totaling around 4 grams. Enough for possession charges. Enough for headlines. Enough to turn a chaotic night into a legal mess. And here's the thing. Jack wasn't some hardened criminal. He's a 22-year-old kid who built a career on adrenaline, jokes, and pushing limits. But in that moment, none of that mattered. What mattered was the paperwork, the charges, the mugshot, the headlines. Miami police didn't see influencer Jack Doherty. They saw a young man walking into traffic with drugs in his pocket and refusing to listen. By morning, the internet was on fire. TikTok clips of him getting cuffed. Twitter threads breaking down the charges. YouTube commentary channels posting reactions. People who had never even heard of Jack suddenly had him plastered across their For You pages. And with fame comes judgment. Ruthless judgment. Some people laughed. Some dragged him. Some said they weren't surprised at all. But what happened next revealed the real story. Because after he was released, Jack walked out of jail and instantly returned to the one thing he knew how to do: perform. He filmed himself laughing, joking, brushing it off like nothing happened. He said he slept on a bench, bragged about hogging the jail phone, and acted like the arrest was just another crazy episode in the Jack Doherty show. Fans posted memes, clips circulated, and from the outside, it looked like Jack was unfazed. But people close to him said the opposite. Behind the scenes, he called the arrest the worst day ever. Not in the dramatic influencer way, but in the real, shaken, embarrassed way. For the first time in a long time, he seemed to understand that the chaos he built his brand on wasn't just entertainment anymore. It was becoming a trap. And when you look at the pattern, the Miami arrest doesn't feel random at all. You start to see all the little warning signs that came before it. The luxury McLaren he crashed while live streaming and barely watching the road. The arguments with strangers that kept going viral. The drama with his ex, McKinley Richardson, that had fans convinced he was losing control emotionally. The constant escalation of stunts, pressure, money, expectations, all building like steam in a pipe. He was living at 100 miles per hour. And eventually, something had to break. And this is where the story takes a deeper turn, because the Miami arrest wasn't just about drugs, or resisting, or a night gone wrong. It exposed the emotional and psychological pressure that influencers like Jack face every day. When your job is to be outrageous, when the algorithm rewards chaos, when your income depends on being more extreme than you were last week, you start blurring the line between entertainment and self-destruct. Jack didn't just get arrested. He hit a moment of truth. And fans are watching closely. Some still think he's unstoppable, a digital daredevil who always finds a way to bounce back. Others think he's headed straight toward a burnout spiral. A few believe this arrest might actually save him from something much worse. And that's the thing. If Jack didn't learn from this night, something even more dangerous is waiting on the other side. Fame doesn't slow down. Pressure doesn't slow down. The expectation to deliver chaos doesn't slow down. And Jack has built an entire empire on top of it. So now comes the real question. The one everyone is whispering, but nobody wants to say out loud. Will Jack Doherty finally step back and take control of his life? Or is he going to keep pushing until the next headline is even worse? Because if the Miami arrest proved anything, it's that the world he lives in, the world of nonstop content, nonstop adrenaline, nonstop chaos, always comes with a bill. And that bill eventually gets paid, one way or another. For Jack, Miami wasn't just a bad night. It wasn't just a viral moment. It wasn't just a mistake. It was a flashing warning sign. The kind you can't ignore once you've seen it. And whether he listens to that warning or keeps sprinting through the same dangerous cycle will determine everything that comes next.